things, as you know, with COVID-19 is we have to protect ourselves and each other from droplets and aerosols. And this is my simulation of how far aerosols can travel outdoors. You can see if the wind is just right. This is 10 feet here, okay? So if my head is 10 feet from somebody who's in a hole over there, whose head is about the same level as my feet, and the wind is just right. See how that kind of went that way and then it curves that way? Beware that things, it's traveling well. It just went beyond your car. It went halfway to John, and John, you're about 30 feet away. So beware that this can happen, all right? And this is what we have to protect each other and ourselves from, is just make sure that we are smart. It's the only thing we have right now for defense against COVID is our brains and our behavior. And I have noticed that we all get a little careless toward the end of the day, and that's one of the reasons I do a 4-hour collecting window. Usually after 4 hours, people are pretty well wiped out anyway, except for a few hardcore people who tend to go, would go all night long, but I'm not going to get into that. But this is my presentation on, my demonstration on droplets. And now the wind has changed a little bit. Today's one of those light and variable winds, but somebody could be in the back seat of the car. I could do a couple of good sneezes here, and if I'm not careful and they're not covered, they could be in the back seat of the car. And I don't know if you saw this, but the droplets, the aerosols actually went this far. So it's pretty important to be sure that you're protecting yourselves. This is our best piece of PPE right here. If you're 10 feet away like this, you can take it off. But if you're within 10 feet of somebody else, make sure you both have this on, okay? Carry it with you all the time. Once you're done in the parking lot, then you're out in the woods and you're just with your home group. There's a couple of 3 pairs here. Once you're together, just the two of you, you can take the mask off. Again, carry it with you all the time when somebody approaches you. And let's remind each other, because we're all new at this, remind each other that we have to wear masks and or keep our distance, okay? It's best to have both on at the same time. But when you start to pound, this is a 10-pound sledgehammer. When I'm swinging this guy, I can't wear this. I can wear it for about 3 swings, and I have to take it off so I can breathe too. Okay, the other problem that I don't think we're going to have so much today is you should be wearing your goggles all the time when you're digging and you're hammering, or you're near somebody who's hammering and digging. But the virus can be transmitted through the eyes too. We're still not sure how much it can be, but it's been demonstrated that it can be. I have a good friend who is president of the Rhode Island Mineral Club. I don't know if you know Sherry, but she's an optometrist, and I asked her about this about a month or 2 ago. And she said, Rick, you just don't want to mess with viruses in your eyes. Your mucous membranes in your eyes can be a place where the virus can attach and get into your system. And I think that for what we do, this is something, it's a must anyway. We just naturally wear goggles or glasses when we're digging and hammering. The biggest problem I have is when it's humid or raining, is this and the fogging. Yep. And so I was really smart, and I went out and bought a pair of these because they say right on them, anti-fog. I tested them. They're junk. Nothing against DeWalt, but they didn't work. The only thing that I found that works is my ski goggles, and they work very well. But they have a dual lens, so you have some separation there, and they're really built for being out in the weather and under all kinds of conditions. But ski goggles cost $60 to $80 to $150, so and they're also tinted too much for what we do. Okay, so this is the 10 feet. I'll be reminding people throughout the day, to back up a little bit or keep your distance. Now, if you need to, and this is something we all need to do, partly because it's just what we do. But if you need to share a rock or a sample, John, this is how I recommend you do it. just like that. Make sure the other person knows it's coming. Make sure you're not throwing anything too big, and throw it by the feet. And I don't recommend it for tools, okay? And I don't recommend it for big rocks or sharp rocks, okay? One of the things we have a lot of here is we have a lot of quartz, and quartz can be very sharp, okay? So that's one of the things that is just a common sense thing. Toward the end of the day, we all want to share and show. That's one of the things I insist about wearing gloves. When you're out digging or you're walking down the paths alone or with your pairings, I'm not fussy about the gloves, but when you're sharing specimens or showing specimens, always good to wear gloves because you don't know what's on this sample. This was in the back of my car. If I sneeze 3 or 4 times on the way over, windows closed, air conditioner on, who knows? You don't know. Don't take any chances, okay? Anything you'd like to add? No?
Have fun.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on safety and health? Okay, one of the reasons we can do this is because it's an outdoor activity. You're at Earth Dance here, and Earth Dance right now, you can